Bet. Welcome to another episode of Africans Talk Football FC. How's everybody doing tonight? I know it's
FC,
midweek.
FC.
We're doing well.
Oh, I said FC team.
I
Man,
mean,
we
come
can talk.
on, FC, y'all.
Hey, that's coming soon. I wasn't supposed to say it out loud, but
Yeah,
Africans
FC
Talk
coming
Football
soon.
TV. You know what I'm saying? The FC is coming soon. FC is coming soon. How's everybody feeling tonight?
Pretty good, man. How about you guys?
Doing
I'm
okay.
feeling good so far this week.
Doing okay.
We'll see about tomorrow. How I'm feeling.
Today I feel nah, man. Just want to say thank you again to all of our fans, all of our supporters out there. We actually surpassed this last week, but finally hit 1,000 followers on our Instagram. So again, honestly, shout out. Thank you very much to everyone who's been following, been supporting. You know, it's crazy. We started this 3 years ago, just friends who wanted to talk more so about football and put it out there. And it's kind of crazy to see, we've done a few interviews. We've brought on new guests. We've brought on friends. We got Solo here, our resident city supporter. He's honestly part of the pod as well now. We got, so much going for us, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys out there listening and commenting. And just want to say thank you. We do have some stuff coming down the pipeline real soon for you, friends. So just stay tuned. Year 3, we coming back with some crazy stuff. But yeah, man, kind of just want to hop right into the action. We got a lot to talk about today. We got the weekend games, and then obviously today is Tuesday, so we had some midweek games as well. December is one of the months, man. I feel like you blink and you've already played 3 or 4 matches. It's only December 5th, and teams have already played twice this month. So let's just get into it. I want to start off with, as we always say, losers go first. So we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about United. Man, people screaming Ten Hag out. It's looking like people talking about Ten Hag out, which is crazy. I had a few a few bets in my friend group talking about, will Ten Hag make it past December? And now it's looking kind of iffy. There were just some reports that came out today, though, or maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember, about kind of just like the state of the locker room. Nemanja Matic came out and was talking about how, when he played at Chelsea, everything was very professional, how players weren't late to practice, the interactions between manager and players was that of respect, and how when he made the jump to United, how he saw players coming in late. There was just lack of that professionalism. He even went out to name Pogba and Jadon Sancho as of 2 of the players who seemingly were late to practice a lot, and how they had, within the team themselves, they had a kind of a little disciplinary action. And it's crazy because, these same players who are having issues with Ten Hag kind of behind the scenes calling for him to possibly step down or asking the board maybe to look towards a new manager. These are some of the same players that had issues with previous managers. I mean, we can go down the list. Salam probably has a lot to say about that, but there's always turmoil in the locker room. I feel like with United, we've been saying this for the last 2-3 years. It's kind of just rinse and repeat. Like, what do? We play well for a good 6 months when we get a new manager, and then it seems there's a new season. The players fall out of form. The players start to bicker with the manager. The manager is trying to do all he can do to keep the team together. Then he gets sacked. It's about 6 months of this weird period where no one knows what's happening. There's a new manager. New manager comes in and, reduce, reuse, recycle, it seemed like. But, just the state of United right now, tough 1-0 loss to Newcastle. I mean, honestly, you guys played decently. You guys didn't play well, but you guys played decently for me. But a win is a win, and Newcastle managed to get those 3 points. So I'm kind of just the state of United halfway through or not halfway through the season, but halfway through the year almost. We're in December now, about to look towards the January window. What's going on with your squad, bro?
As far as the state of United goes, we're in shambles. That's just what it is. I actually want to start with the Champions League game, Galatasaray. I have to give it up for the players. I thought the players put in a performance that was well enough to win that game. Unfortunately, it came down to our biggest issue in the Champions League this year. That's Andre Onana. He's cost us many, many goals. Listen, bro, I, I, I've, I've tried to support you. Tried to back you, and I still do. But I just think he makes the any save look like a crazy save. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no just routine save with him. There's no easy save, and just quite frankly, um, you know, it's a big task to be United's keeper. I remember when David De Gea was new. Mike will tell you, I wanted David De Gea out that season, and Mike was like, "No, just give him some time, and he'll be fine." And coincidentally, he had been our keeper for the next decade, but we're out of the Champions League because of him, and that's just what it is. People do have to be held accountable. He definitely is one of them for the Champions League. I thought McTominay played poorly, and I just, I think all in all, the two similarities you saw is that some of these guys, man, they're just not up for playing at a club this high. I think we can we can go down the list. We can look at the players who played in that Newcastle game. I don't even want to say the Galatasaray game because I thought we were fine in that game. I think if Onana didn't make those mistakes, like we're good. But it is what it is. Against Newcastle, I mean, more or less the same. I mean, isn't it crazy that I don't want to make it on him, but just isn't it crazy that we look so much better without Marcus Rashford? Like it was completely night and day from what you saw on versus Turkey away from home in a tough environment versus away from home in a tough environment in England at St. James Park. And it just I don't know, this guy, man, it's just like I, I don't know. At this point, I really don't know what it is with him. I don't think that there's really a manager that can fix him or any of the players. I mean, let's be real. These are the same players who have gotten countless of managers sacked, and the fact that they're complaining now, if they are complaining, is not acceptable because, I mean, none of these guys have even won anything. So, like, what grounds do you even have to stand on? At least the manager has, like, I've won a league title. I can say that. I made a deep run into Champions League. You guys haven't done anything. You were in a Europa League final and squandered it. So like that's who you guys are. But I mean, I just that being said, we do have a lot of players out though. We do have a lot of players out. Lissandro is out. Varane isn't playing. Casemiro's not playing. And as far as as attackers go, I don't know. I'm starting to question if Hoyland can stay fit because I mean, like he's just never really available when we need him to be. Um, and yeah, man, I'm just hoping that in January we see some change in terms of like the structure of who's running stuff, and hopefully we can start, bringing in players that are actually going to help this team. Because, like Ragnick said, and this will be the last thing I say, but what Ragnick said in that interview was like the realest thing that you've heard if you consume United in any way. This team needs like 9 new players. The reality is that this team consists of players from many different managers. Every manager that has come in here hasn't been able to completely gut the squad and get his guys in. But in Ten Hag's case, the one thing that I will say, the guys that he's brought in are not good enough because he's not even using them. So like I'm starting to even question him. It's like it's a sad state of affairs for United right now.
Interesting. I mean, I think you made some really good points. In terms of the players, I want to start with the players. This might sound crazy because you know how I feel about this guy, but from the past 2 games that I've watched of United, I think Maguire is the only guy that looks like he wants to play for United.
100%.
Everybody else is just like
It's because
walking
he had people at
around,
his
just
neck.
like there has to be something going on in the locker room. Like
There's disarray. That's what's going
this
on.
this weekend, he picked Shaw to partner up with what's his name, Maguire, a center back when Varane is healthy.
Yeah.
So, like to me, I'm at a point now. I've looked at the United situation. I think it's the players, man. Even though, like, I don't think Ten Hag is this, big crazy coach guy. Like, I don't think he's that top class of a manager. But I still think he's a great manager. If you look at this guy, I mean, you guys have probably seen it on Twitter. The videos of Rashford just walking,
Yeah,
just walking. Like, how is he continuing to start Rashford? How are you justifying that?
he has favorites. We have to call it out. He does have favorites because if you can't, like you said, if how can you continue to play Rashford and you're saying someone like Sancho doesn't put enough effort in? Like that doesn't.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
does not lie.
And then Sancho just recently made a statement saying he's like, oh, he might be. People are like wanting him to start playing again and everything. It's not looking good for Eric.
That locker room. This team kind of reminds me of our team last season. And I also believe Onana right now, I think he's a broken record. I mean, we all see it. I mean, he's just not looking good. But this is what I also believe. He hasn't had a consistent back line in front of him. Like, look at who's played in front of Onana. How are you going to create any type of chemistry? If you look at Chelsea last season, same issue. We couldn't figure it out in the back. You guys, I feel like if you figure out the back line, okay, maybe what's his name comes back. I mean, this Varane situation is just weird. I don't know what's going on. But without a consistent back line, there's no way Onana gets comfortable. Like, he's just not going to be comfortable.
Taking that many shots. He was never meant to be a shot stopper in the way like
Absolutely.
David De Gea is a shot stopper.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're 100% right. He's a keeper. No,
I get what he's saying. Salam, De Gea will save things.
Yeah,
that
that's
are
what
harder than
that era.
He save some balls.
Yeah,
but I'm not with that. I'm not with cutting a guy slack because he's a ball playing keeper, not a shot saving. Like, bro, your job is to save goals. Your title is goalkeeper.
Yeah,
but what were they saying about De Gea last season though?
That he doesn't play good with his feet.
That he's not good with his feet. But now that you know,
choose.
Which one
do you want?
It's either you got to pick and choose, or you have to be better about how you pick and choose. And this goes back to Eric Ten Hag. Like he has been slowly trying to bring his Ajax team all over to this thing, and I'm like, for what? Like, is that what United needed? Like, how are you gonna have a playing keeper and not put competent people in front of him to make sure that it does? That dude's not gonna be good with his. There are gonna be times where he's gonna let more shots in than someone like a David De Gea or
and even size wise, right?
Yeah.
Even size wise, he's a smaller keeper.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of help him,
Yeah, Eric Ten. That's why for City, for example, we got 4 CBs. We got 4 CBs in front of Ederson to make sure that he's not facing as many shots as he needs to be facing. And so I mean, I want to get into the City segment, but
do you think like with the Varane situation though, do you think that it's the problem with the player and the manager? Because it seems as if the manager is having a lot of problems with players that are in a certain, I guess, stratosphere of I don't know, clout, I guess. I can't really say that. Like,
Varane is a World Cup winner, 5 times Champions League. Bro, he has ego. Like, come on.
All these players, I mean, at the end of the day, these players want to win, bro. Yeah. And more than they want to win, they don't want to look bad. I mean, think about Casemiro. Think about Varane. They're coming from Madrid. They're coming from a pedigree in which they're one, not used to losing, but 2, they're used to a certain level. Like kind of that's what I was talking about, bro. They're used to a certain level of professionalism. They're used to a certain level of, even if we lose, there's not this. I go back to the locker room and there's this this level of like discomfort, tension, like tension, discomfort. And I feel like because there's no real standard being set at United, there's no real, it was kind of like Mike said, it's kind of the issue with Chelsea. There was no real standard. There was no real, okay, like this is what it is, win, lose, or draw, this is what it is. I feel like a lot of the teams' morale is just, you can't really mesh as a squad. I feel like they're just not a squad.
Well,
That's
the
how
thing
it
is-
feels like to me looking on from the outside.
A lot of individuals.
And my answer to your question, Samamso, about who's to blame in that Varane situation, I think one thing that's being under accounted for is Eric Ten Hag came from Ajax, which is a team organized around like youth and academy and young people coming up.
Mhm.
He's never been in a situation where he has to prioritize a player like Varane or prioritize a player like Casemiro or how to do rotations like that. That's a fault on him. That is just
Yeah.
that is an issue. So that's why it's like, again, then we go back above that. Who made the decision to put the dude that's only coached kids into a club that's like United and not give him the full support to just get a bunch of young people in there? Don't say, oh, but you have to get Casemiro and Varane in there to make it look cool or something to give us something to market. I feel like that's the director role, whoever that is. For you.
Let me ask you this question: do y'all think um a team like United, do you think it would be a good idea or it would help if he treated some players different than the other players?
You have to, bro.
I think. Well,
I
but
Bro,
think, I
you
think the
1,000.
problem might be he's trying too hard to like fit everybody in one box.
So I go back.
nah,
I go back.
you think he's trying to fit everybody in?
Yeah,
I think
He's trying to make everybody
if
feel like
you're
they're all equal, like he's
if
imposing like a.
yeah, exactly. If you're a manager, like Mourinho knows who his men are.
That is Zlatan.
Mourinho, the
Yeah.
first thing he says is, "You have to find your guy. Who is my number one guy on this team?" I don't think Ten Hag has that. He doesn't really have that. Varane would be a perfect guy for that.
Yeah.
And I personally think they just are not seeing eye to eye. He's like, yo, I should be playing. And Ten Hag is probably like, maybe the way he came on him, it wasn't the right way. So, I have to show an example. How I've treated everybody, I'm gonna do the same.
I mean, I go back to the Sir Alex Ferguson doc all the time. Like I've watched that doc probably over 5 times at this point. But I mean, Cantona says it. He said, "Bro, I was
Yeah.
the French hothead when I came in. Everybody else on the team could mess up. Everybody else on the team could come in on time, play, a 10 out of 10, and he would scream at them. Me, sometimes I came in late. Sometimes I got a red card. Sometimes I did this. And the gaffer would just put his arm around me and say, how are you? Because you have to treat certain players certain ways. And as a manager, that's part of growing as a manager. Kind of just like what Solo said. He's used to the Ajax where it's the youth. Everyone's bought in. They've seen years after years after, okay, we're going to make Champions League. Oh, okay, we're going to win the Eredivisie. We know that we have a system in place where, yeah, we're young, but the plan is to do very well here, listen to the manager, and then maybe in 2-3 years, we go to a bigger club. We go to the top 5. We go to England. We go to Spain. That's just how it's set up. Here, bro, this is Manchester United. Exactly. This is one of the best clubs in the world, one of the most expensive, or one of the the highest valued clubs in the world. Everyone knows who United is. So for them, it's just a different level of, okay, there's levels to how we're supposed to treat players, when we're at, maybe in Belgium, or when we're at, Leverkusen. I mean, look at what Xabi Alonso is doing at Leverkusen right now. Those players are bought in. But I guarantee you, if he gets a job at Liverpool, or if he gets a job at Madrid, he's going to have to act different. You know what I mean? So it's just part of him growing as a manager, I feel like. So yeah, you got to treat certain players differently.
So, okay, you say that like we can't put everybody in the same box. We have to treat certain players with a certain level of, I guess, respect or tolerance, leniency. Okay, so then last year, Marcus Rashford was late.
Yep.
Right, and he like seconds late from to a meeting or some sort of team organized event. He was late and he was benched for the first half of the game. It was against West Ham or Aston Villa. I think West Ham.
Yeah.
And then
he came on second half and got an assist. Am I right?
Came on and I think he scored or got an assist.
He scored or something like that.
So that tells me right away, right? Okay, so you do have a level of like standards for everybody, because he was our best player in the moment last year. At that moment, he was the best player for us, and he benched him. So it shows the team that, like, okay, this guy's not playing around. So then how can you show that you have that level of kind of authority onto the team but you can continuously watch what he does week in, week out. His performances don't merit him playing. So here's my question. You have the, what is it, courage to bench him. You don't have to bench him when he comes late for a meeting, but you don't have the courage to tell him that he's not playing well and you have to bench him.
Hey, I got nothing to say with that. All I'm saying is
Listen, bro,
treat
you
certain
right.
players their ways.
No,
I agree
you're
with you. I
absolutely
agree with
right.
you.
That's a fault on Eric Ten Hag. That's
Because
But like I'm saying that to say,
square peg in a square.
if I'm Sancho and I'm seeing that, I'm like, what? Like what? Like
it's
how is
crazy.
that? I don't know. Unless Sancho's coming in late. I 100%. I love Sancho. I know that he's coming late.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know
You
he's
gotta
coming.
let
We
you
know
gotta,
he's guilty. Yeah, it's like the Obama
Matic said
situation
it.
at
Matic
Arsenal.
said it. Matic is not even here right now. Matic said it. He said you and Pogba. Think about how many players came late. Those two were the names that were dropped. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
And
those
even think of the names that were in that locker room.
yeah,
Mhm.
those two, and I
Yeah.
can see it. But so like, I don't know, man. I just think that I think he just needs to be very careful because I think a lot of the players that he's leaning on are not players that can, they have a ceiling. Maguire's playing well right now, but it's going to take one mistake for everyone to turn on him again.
Like I'm at a spot right now. Like I feel like I'm looking past his mistakes because he's the only one willing to run and go get the ball.
Yeah.
He's here. He's there. Nobody's doing it. So
You know what's
eventually
sad?
he's probably gonna make a mistake.
You know what's sad?
Like look at the Newcastle goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Napping.
Just
Out
of
that's
it.
what it is, Mike. That's all of our mistakes, all of our goals are like they're just mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's I guess every goal
Effort. You say effort. I'll say
Yeah.
effort.
every goal at some point stems from a mistake, but it's just kind of like the last thing I just want to say that it's very discouraging because like week to week, like we're about to play Chelsea tomorrow, and we'll do the preview here in a little bit, but it's like we're playing with Ole's team, aside from
Facts. You're not lying.
aside from Onana, it's just like this is Ole's team. Maguire's back, Luke Shaw's
Mhm.
back, well, Bisaka's back, great, and then like McTominay's back, and it's like, but then I question like, where are your players? You brought these guys in, are they not good enough? I don't know, bro.
I
Like,
mean,
The Amrabat
Amrabat,
situation. Is he injured?
where's Amrabat? Is Amrabat not fit? Like, I don't know. We have Martial. Martial's playing still striker for us.
Dude, he brings in Maino, Newcastle game.
Yeah.
But then the game before Galatasaray, he played well, and then you don't play him that game.
Yeah. I don't know,
I
bro.
don't know, man.
it's interesting, man.
It makes you think. Okay, he's probably picking these players off of merit, something they've done.
Yeah.
Like this guy's probably showing up every day at practice, doing well. This guy is moaning, so I'm not gonna pick him. I think that's what he's doing because it just doesn't make sense. How does Martial not still have a 90-minute game? Like it's
Yeah, bro.
crazy to me. If you play Martial 90 minutes, he will get a goal eventually.
Mm.
I mean, we've seen it. We've
It's
seen it.
crazy.
But yeah, man, it's United. I feel like it every year we talk about y'all. There's something going on with y'all every single year. It makes it fun. I like when you guys are, and somehow you're still above us on the table. So it makes no sense to me, but you move. Moving on to another team that, hey, so first and foremost, before we move on to Liverpool, I just want to say this weekend has had some of the most goals I've seen in a weekend ever. I think they said on Sunday there were 10 goals in the first half of all the matches. I mean, like, yo, this weekend had it had everything. No matter what game you turned on, I feel like every game was exciting. This Liverpool match, none to say the less, or nonetheless, a great match against Fulham. Another 4-3 thriller. I don't know how we keep getting these 4-3 thrillers, goals in the last minute. I mean, we kind of said it last week. We kind of asked the question, or I asked the question, is Liverpool back? Is this one of those teams that can actually fight for the title? Yeah, I think they're ready. This really is one of those this really gave me reminiscence of, when they were scoring 4 goals, when it was the Mane, Salah, Coutinho up top. And they were going to leak goals, but they were going to score 5 if you were going to score 4. They're going to score 6 if you're going to score 5. They're scoring 8 if you're scoring 6. It was one of those type teams. And right now, Liverpool is buzzing, man. Liverpool is buzzing. This match against Fulham, and hats off to Fulham. They played a great match, away too. It's very, very hard to go into the Kop and get 3 goals, but this Liverpool team is scary. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of been unexpected. I mean, eventually, I think it was expected that I was going to take some time to get like gel in the midfield the way that they did before, because a lot of changes happened across the summer. But really, they've got it sorted out, and Van Dijk is back to just being a consistent, reliable defender. And of course, now with Trent getting more of a forward, more space moving forward with that surety in the back, they're dangerous. They'll take some points off for sure.
Personally, I think Liverpool is just one lineup / formation away. Literally, I just feel like they just haven't found that guaranteed starting 11. And once they get that, I think we'll all be in trouble, because right now I think he's trying to fidget with starting, what's his name, Nunes, Salah, and then what's his name, Jota. He's kind of like switching them around to see which one works the best. And personally, I think the best Liverpool front three is Diaz, Nunes, and Salah. So I just think they're just one lineup away from figuring everything out. Really,
it's really just about the defense, because they do still leak goals.
Yeah, I mean that right side,
I feel like it's not a Liverpool team unless you leaking goals for real.
What
At this point, I kind of like it. It makes for exciting matches, man. They all been like 3-2, 3-1, 4-2.
Yeah,
it's why we like Liverpool in the past. It's going to be goals.
2 goals in like a minute and a half. It's crazy, dog.
What would you say is their best front three? Well, it's like a front four because Szoboszlai and
yeah.
What do you think is their best front four? Mike, you said Nunez.
I thought, Nunez up top, and then what's his name? Diaz on the left, Salah on the right. That's what I think is their best front three.
Cornelius, what do you think?
Salah on the right. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of Darwin Nunez. I know he misses a lot of goals. He hit the post, I believe, this weekend as well. But I really like him. I don't know. I think they got a player in him. And then on the left, I feel like when Jota's healthy, he can give you 15 goals. I kind of like Jota over there, bro, to be honest.
Okay. Wait, so who are you putting as like the 10, the person in the middle? Because it's a front four.
Oh, well, are we saying Szoboszlai is the automatic and they're just the front three?
Let's just say Szoboszlai and McAllister.
Szoboszlai is, automatic, yeah.
Yeah, Szoboszlai they sit in the thing and then the front
yeah.
four.
I mean, I guess at the 10.
McAllister or Szoboszlai?
I got a pick too. I got mine.
Well, yeah, I think Szoboszlai.
It has to.
I think Szoboszlai. He's more offensively gifted than McAllister.
Gabriel, what do you
think? Diaz, Nunes, Salah, Szoboszlai, easy.
Okay.
For me, I would say it's Diaz, Nunez, Salah, and the 10 position. I was like, could Trent be there? Like, he's not a 10. Right. he basically send him up for assists and send him up. I'm like, let that man play central. He still wants to be there.
Here we go.
Here we
go.
Saying, hey, Trent he's having a little offensive revival lately. I don't know. He's been doing a lot with these goals. So, but yeah, I was a slide though. Yeah, I think that's the most. reasonable.
I don't know though. The way McAllister scored that goal this weekend, bro. I don't know.
That's his first goal.
That's the thing. McAllister and Soberslide, if those two were to sit, I would probably come with Darwin off the bench. I just like Darwin off the bench for me is like best case scenario. It's just kind of like because if you're the coach on the other side and you see him warming up, or if you see him just coming in, getting ready to come in, you know it's about to be some just
chaos,
just mayhem. Yeah. So like, I don't know, impact player, man. I'm all about my impact players. Shout out Darwin Nunez, Marcus Rashford. Bench players, the bench boys. Oh man,
That's crazy. But yeah, man, Liverpool on the prowl, man. This team, they've been
hey,
consistently
let's
top.
talk Trent. Talk Trent.
Yeah,
Most
consistently top
informed-
5, top 6. But I was gonna say, hats off to Trent, man. That kid. Shout out, yeah. Salam said, and making Adidas proud.
Good for the brand.
But no, seriously, at the beginning of the season when they said Trent was going to move up into that midfield role, I feel like we all joked about it, but we all knew what could happen. Like we all kind of knew what could happen if he was closer to goal. Because defensively, we all know he's low-key a lick. He's a liability back there. 1v1, he can get beat if you have a very good winger, if you have a good attacker against him. But that has nothing against his ability in the offensive third. I mean, just his ability to cross the ball in to get assists, his ability to strike the ball. I mean, he's scoring every which way now. His free kick, bar down. I mean, no one in the world is saving that, dog. Like, Trent's been going crazy. And honestly, it's good for Liverpool. I feel like when they lost Mane, they lost a little bit of their offensive, prowess. I know it's been a year. It's been over a year now, but when they lost Mane, they lost a little bit of that bite that they used to have, in the mid 2010s. And now they've started to get more offensive threats. They got Nunez, they got Jota, they have Luis Diaz, but they were never all healthy at the same time. And so they had to rely on Trent, but because he was their right back, if he goes up too far, there's just that hole. So now that they've moved him into the mid, like I said, they're gonna lead goals, but they they can score at any time, man. And Trent's one of those leading guys right now.
He's on fire. He's where he wants to be.
Yeah, that's facts. He's definitely where he wants to be.
I think like with that team, man, if they could get him further forward, and if they could just buy a proper 6, just to shut it down in the midfield, to just let him just kind of roam, because someone like that, with the ability that he's able to pass the ball and move the ball, just you got to give him just license to just kind of move, because it doesn't really matter what angle he's at. He can produce a worldie out of nothing. So, yeah, man. The most informed player in the league right now. I'd probably have to say him.
Wow, you think so?
Yeah. He's a right back. Look what he's doing. Who's your right back? What is he doing? Like,
hey, relax. Reece James just had to take a little time. He'll be back.
Yeah, let's leave.
I don't ever.
Hold on, you said Trent is the most informed player right now?
I'll disagree with that, but I don't definitely not Reece. Look at the heck.
Look where his team is. Look at him. Look where his team is.
All right, let's do it. Who's the best right back right now?
Kyle Walker.
What? In the Prem?
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
In the Prem, Kyle Walker.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I'm talking about right back.
Okay, so
between them two.
Adidas, relax. Okay, relax.
Trent Alexander, who's
It's definitely Kyle Walker, man. Come on.
It's Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker's up there. I'll put Ben White up there. He's in the mix.
Season, I've seen him.
Not this season.
I've seen him get cheeked up.
Cheeked up is crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
On that note,
but yeah, man, let's move on to City, man.
Oh yeah,
it's something about Spurs. I got y'all number.
Sheesh.
Another 3-3 banger. Like I said, this weekend was full of goals.
Yeah.
I'm just pass the baton to you, Mr. Solo. 3-3, another Spurs match, another not 3 points.
Hold on,
And
was
I feel
it
like
the
y'all thought y'all had it in the bag.
third draw in a row?
Mhm.
No. They did the double on City last year.
No,
And I
I'm talking
believe the
about
year
City.
before.
City, their last 3 games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Prem,
Their
yeah.
last 3 games, yes, 3 draws in a row. I mean, we were saying in the group chat a little bit earlier, City is beatable this year. I know it's early, but y'all took a step backwards, and I don't even think it's, y'all still drunk off the trouble last year. I think it's just people kind of figuring you guys out. You're not as scary as you once were. We kind of understand that Arsenal had a run at you, and now Liverpool's getting a run at you. Now Spurs again getting a run at you. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, 3 draws doesn't look great for sure, and especially this like the way that we're leaking goals right now. We're at like in the past few games we've like let in like 10 goals, something like that, and it's just there's a part where it's just like, all right, what's going on? Because that's something that we need to be addressing as a team, but it hasn't really been the center point. A lot of it's been focusing on us not getting across the line, but I'm like, oh, why are we letting back? Why are we letting in so much? So that's one thing. And I do think John Stones being out is a big part of this. I do think KDB, especially KDB being out, you just can't, you take away 25 assists or 20, or however many assists he'll get, within a league season, 20 plus assists a season, you take that away and it's hard to find that, especially when you take away the second one, which is Gundo. But I'll say this. When I bought this jersey, people also thought we weren't going to win. Okay. When I bought this jersey,
that was Inside Out.
It was. Oh yeah, that was the one. You remember when Gundo scored that last that against Steve Gerrard's? They thought Liverpool thought they were going to do something. Yep, that was so that one scored a goal. We came back. This one, same difference. And I mean, it's the story of City.
Flexing on us, man.
It's the story of City.
We're so spoiled, I swear.
It's the story of City for the past few years. What we are doing, and I appreciate Pep so much because of his post-match. I've been like, this is how crazy things have been. 3 draws. I was like, let me go see what our coach is talking about because I ain't watched a post-match in a minute. So I'm like, I know he got it. We're good. I hop on there, and this man straight up said, he's like, all these pundits, they want to talk. Jamie Carragher, he's never even won a PL. What is it called? He said Gary Neville, he never won 4 in a row, even though he did 3 when he was the best time in United. But we're on
he was flexing.
4. And then he's like, oh, and then now you want to look at Michael Richards. He's never won 4. So he just said straight up, hey, we're gonna win. This is what we do. We're gonna go on our run. And you know what's crazy? We've still been unbeaten at home in 58 games. So I got faith. But yeah, we got some problems that we need to figure out. This is our time period, though. I don't know what we need to do in the transfer market, even if we need to at all. But I think the biggest thing is the sorting that defense out.
Pep sounds shook.
Part. And once we do that, and once we get KDB back, we're talking about a 15-game win run, maybe, and then we'll get ourselves right back, and we'll see you, Liverpool.
Gabriel, what did you say, Gabriel?
I said Pep sounds shook.
Remember that every time this year he has an interview where he goes like, "I'm more than happy, more than you believe," or some stuff like that, and then he goes and snaps everybody in place. So
nah, not this year, bro.
I got faith. I'm putting hope up, but
it's cool, bro. Keep praying.
Yeah.
Which City player is more important to you for you guys, KDB or Rodri?
Kevin.
Ooh, Kevin. I mean,
every time
because when you know what, that will be answered by next week because now he's suspended for that game. So now we lost all the 3 losses we have are when Rodri was
suspension. You guys have won a title without Kevin. What do you mean?
We've won without Kevin.
You won't win a title without Rodri.
Yeah, but also you can say the same thing with Ruben Diaz. Like since he's came.
Hold on, let's back up real quick. Salam, you said what?
Manchester City have won a title while Kevin De Bruyne has been out for the majority of that season.
Yeah,
they like now. Let's say Kevin De Bruyne was playing and Rodri was out. They wouldn't win.
Yeah.
No way.
What?
Yeah.
Who's gonna play there, Mike? Calvin
I,
Phillips.
I can't say that. I can't agree with you there, bro.
Kovacic. I mean,
I'm with
I
you on that.
don't
Some of
know.
them, I'm not
There's a
gonna
lot
lie.
of new people because, like,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
Nunez doing? Like, what's Mateo Nunez popping up? We need him to show up. Why he's here?
There's a
Calvin-
reason
I
you
mean,
don't play him.
Pep said it. He's not ready.
Yeah,
There's a reason you don't
He's
play him.
also injured right now, but
yeah.
Mm.
And the thing is, too, like
um,
the city, we restructured our team. Like our Pep restructured the team in a way that it would be okay, more feeding towards Holland. But one of the main like routes was through KDB. So with that being out the way, and we lost our other scoring option. Like if it wasn't Holland scoring, it was Gundo coming up on a random goal consistently. And so we lost the goals and they replaced that. And that was a bad, and we got rid of Cole Palmer if we need some pens every once in a while, maybe. But we definitely are less goal scoring options.
Thank you for that one.
Yeah.
I want to ask you. Let's talk about Grealish, man.
yeah, please. Thank you, Mike.
27 games. Come on, dog. 100 mil.
Hey, hold up.
Wow.
What? First off, before we get to Grealish, let's talk about that referee decision because that was some bull, and we let that go completely.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna bring it up.
Apologize because the reason I brought it up is because Grealish was on the 1-1, and for facts, like he is not, he was not scoring the same amount of goals he was scoring and playing the same way. But when he came on off Doku came off, we got a goal off that. And then he was setting up for that second goal after that. He has moments where he still shows out. It's just that it's not going to be as nice as looking as what Doku's doing now on the sidelines. Like it's just never going to look as good as that.
So have you accepted it as a City fan? Doku's a better option?
I think going forward, yes.
What do you mean going
forward?
I think going forward, Doku is the better option.
He's always been the better option, though.
I say he's the better option when we're looking to like make an offensive move. But when we need control, I mean, bro, one of the goals we gave up with Spurs was directly Doku was there and was unable to get the ball. It was just like he blasted past him. And so I'm like, when we need to be able to hold a game steady, all the steps and everything, that's not what we need. We need somebody that could be like, all right, we're gonna just play that simple pass, metronomic passing ball for a bit. But I'm just saying going forward, yes, I think Doku needs to get better his defensive side, and then he's the out and out best, no question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear. I just personally think Grealish is a City flop. I think we just need to just talk about it because
we do.
I'm just being completely honest. Through 65 games, Pepe has more stats than Grealish. So like let's really speak about it.
Crazy.
Like let's speak about it. More goals. Yeah, let's really speak about it. I don't know. For the money that he was bought for the all the hype around it, for everything that came with it, and everyone said give him the first year. It takes a year to get with Pep. He got replaced within another year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He got replaced within another year. Now this guy has come in, bro. Not even 2 matches we saw a difference, a complete difference of quality. What he brings to the squad, the energy. Everyone just felt more comfortable with him, and I don't know. I just. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves soon.
I think like because right now as it's been going on with Grealish and the manager, he's been comfortable. Just like there hasn't been all this drama that we've seen at least come out of it. You would think because when that happened to Cancelo, that's what happened to Cancelo is that when Rico Lewis was coming, who got mad. But Grealish was like, no problem, I'll stay. And so I think that's in his benefit why he'll send.
He's happy to be there, bro.
Right.
He's been
Calvin Phillips.
He's been in the slums, bro. When he was with Villa, he had to work every single day just to keep him afloat. Now he's on a City team where they just won the treble last year. Exactly. He's gone to Champions League. He's living life in Manchester right now. For him, he's a party boy too. So it's like he's done everything he's needed to do. He's done all the work. I feel like for him, this is like, that dream job. You've been grinding your whole life, you've been lower level, then you finally get that promotion and it's your dream job. And so he's fine being, where he's at. Well, but as far as us, we're going to look at him and be like, yo, you're not the guy they spent the money for.
Well, the thing is, like, for me, again, my part was when I look at the cost and when we bought him at that much, I definitely think English tax played a huge role. That's what, again, pushed Declan's price up more than it needed to be, most likely. And then there's also the part of just like he was hot coming out of Aston Villa, but the thing is, he was the only guy. There was nobody else. He was the most talented player in his team by such a
mile, yeah.
margin that he was just like, we need you to do everything. But the thing that he was always good at was keeping the ball at his feet. And there were so many goals, and from last year, he started every game. And there's so many goals where the way that somebody
the Chelsea game.
Yeah, he'll literally just carry it the whole way and then gets in the right spot and then it's done. And so it's just like, I mean, he scored. He knows how to make that play when it needs to be and knows when to control the ball when he needs to. But again, I'm not saying this to say that Doku hasn't shown why he's
excuses.
Yeah, he's the better. But yeah, City.
But let's talk Spurs though. Let's give them some credit, man, because that lineup was not that strong, to be honest.
They play to win right now.
3-3.
That coach is doing something crazy over there. Like
whatever he's telling them, they're eating it up.
And I mean, they needed this. They needed a result because they had lost 3 in a row, I believe, 4 in a row.
3 in a row.
If they would have lost to y'all, so this was a very, very much needed result too.
Like, and they're depleted too. They lost a lot of people to injury, like key people, not a lot as in many, but they lost some key people. So for them, I'm not mad at the result because of how they played. I'm more mad because the referee and the decision that was made. But the way they played, I was like, I appreciate when teams show up to play the game instead of going up with like, oh, let's just hold them. Let's hold back. So I respect them for that.
Yeah. Yo, and my early shout for keeper of the year, Vicario, man.
Oh,
dude is legit, dog.
I've been saying this.
Bro, after you started saying it, I started paying attention.
I've been saying this since day one.
This guy's
since day one. I saw him. I was like, hey, he might be real. Like day one, I was like, he might be real. He's real. He's really real. I like him, bro.
He's good.
He's good. I like that guy a lot, man.
I straight up gave him his props after that Chelsea match. I know we beat him down 4-1, but easily could have been 5-6, 7-1. I mean, they were down to 9 men, and he was making saves where I'm just like,
facts.
Yo, this guy is keeping them in the match. But I mean, Spurs is going to be one of those teams where they're always going to be around. And especially this year, I feel like the manager they have is keeping them around. But when you look at the top, I mean, I said this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, when you look at the top 4, top 6, every year, we always look forward to these matches and they're kind of lackluster. This year, they've all been up, they've been as advertised. 3-3 Man City versus Spurs. Even the Liverpool Man City match, it was 1-1, but it was very exciting. When you look at Chelsea, across the board, the teams we've played, whether it's been a win, loss, or draw, they've all been exciting. Arsenal, the same thing. It's just very, very exciting. Moving on from the Spurs Man City match to Chelsea, it was exciting. I would say it was very exciting, not in the way that we probably wanted. But Chelsea ended up getting the dub 3-2. 2 quick goals to start the game. Shout out to Enzo Fernandez getting his first goal under the Chelsea blue, and also shout out what's his name, Levi Colwell, getting his first goal as a Chelsea blue. Both in the first half, both off set pieces. I feel like from there, me and Mike were kind of. I think I texted Mike. I was like, "Yo,
you did, yeah.
We need this." Actually, I think you were the first one to be like, "Yo, we need this third goal. We need to put it away because we know how Chelsea is." And in very, very Chelsea-like fashion, end up getting a red card in the first half, and making this game a lot more close than it should have been. I really don't have a lot to say. I'm glad we got the dub. Another very, very controversial penalty call. Personally, I'll say this, and I texted Mike. I said, "Look, I don't think it's a pen, but I'll take it." Because I think that's just how this year is. I feel like there's just been a lot of matches where There's been a controversial call very, very close to the end of the match that's made it go one way or the other. Fortunately, this week it was in our favor. But it's kind of just been the story of Chelsea all year. When we play well, we can't put a full match together. It's usually just one half. We usually just have a good 90-minute, or we haven't had a good 90 minutes, I feel like, all season. Besides the Arsenal match, I would say that's probably been our best match all season. That was a full 90, I feel like. And even then, we turned off for a second. You know, if you look at the goal that Declan Rice scored, it's just a terrible mistake. There was that few 10, 15 minutes where we kind of slipped, but still, that was our best match all season, and that was a month ago. So you look to build on those, but, you know, you have matches where back-to-back weeks your captain is getting red cards. It's one thing after another, and it's just like I want this to. I see how good our team can be. Exactly. But it's never a full week of just, oh, we did well today. Like, let's build on this. Like, oh, okay, this was actually a 10 out of 10 match. Let's build on this. I feel like there's always something that's holding us back. Now we're without, you know, Conor Gallagher in a game where we actually need him. I feel like United is going to be a match where we need his energy. We need him to, we need his work rate, especially when you have Caicedo, who I've been very, very critical of, man. I think Caicedo has been putting in some stinkers. He's been putting in stinkers. I mean, you look at this last game, he's losing the ball in the defensive third. He's getting yellow cards. There are a few calls where I feel like he got away with, you know, possibly getting a second yellow card. You know, 2 back-to-back fouls where he could have been called, you know, in the second half. And for how much money we spent on him, you know, we kind of have to be critical on him. Enzo, like I said, Enzo has been one of our most consistent players. Even when he's not our best player on the pitch, he's not messing up to the point where it's like, dog, what are you doing? You know, it's not like a Bissouma mess up where you're giving away a goal or two. It's one of those things where it's just like, okay, you didn't give us an 8 out of 10 performance. You didn't give us a 9 out of 10 performance, but also it wasn't a 5 or a 6. Caicedo, since we bought him, since he's been on the pitch, I really haven't seen the quality that everybody was gassing last year. And last year he was able to free roam. He was able to do what he wanted on that Brighton team. But ever since he's put on the Chelsea blue, I feel like he just hasn't been up to par. And he's one of the reasons I feel like our midfield has been a little shaky at times. But, you know, it's good to get the win. We'll talk about the United matchup here in a little bit. But Mike, how'd you feel?
I mean, I honestly think you touched on everything. I don't know. Right now, I look at us as frauds. I mean, even that 3-2 win, I take the win, but it shouldn't come down like that. I mean, we're struggling to get results, and then I watch Arsenal, bro, down 3-2, 80th minute. Am I right? 80th minute.
Yeah.
They still pull out a 4-3 win. And that's where I'm at with us right now. We have to get results. Jackson, there's a player in there. I really believe there's a player in there. But it's just like, bro, you got to start getting it together. Like the Caicedo thing, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. Gave the ball away in our final third, like what, 3-4 times? That's unacceptable. They should have scored, but they didn't.
Honestly.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I see how good we can be. Like you said, I see how good we can be. But we need to start putting together like results, like consistent. Like tomorrow's game is big for me because we cannot lose to United. I don't care if you go out there and play 0-0. We cannot lose. That game should be able to boost us, give us some confidence, go in there and win. They're struggling. They're in shambles. Take advantage. Like, that's all I'm looking for right now. Like, right now, I feel like Gabriel 2 years ago. Like, I can feel the frustration now. We just can't get results. And I know we're young, this and that and the third, but, bro, discipline. We have none.
The difference is, and as much as, like, I understand where you're coming from, the difference is with Arteta, you know, this is his 4th year, I believe. They kind of had something growing 2 years ago. It was Arteta's first full season. and he had finally got some of his guys. He was starting to do the whole process of phasing guys out, bringing his new guys in. They had a real young team. With us, we've spent the money. We've gotten the manager who we've wanted.
That's what makes
and
it.
so it's our first real year with a real manager, and our first real year. Last year was a wash under Bowley. He was very involved with everything. It was his first year as a Premier League owner, so I feel like he was very, very hands-on. I mean, look at what our year was last year. We went through 4 managers, and now this is our first real year with him doing that little laissez-faire, hands-off. I'm going to let the football experts do their football experts. You know what I'm saying? So for me, this is the first real year where we can actually look and say, okay, what is this Chelsea team going to be like in the next 2-3 years? What's this Chelsea team going to look like? What do we have to look forward to? And so for me, I know there's going to be a lot of growing pains, but after that Arsenal game, 2-3 wins in a row, and then we have the Newcastle blip. And like I said last week, I think Newcastle was a blip. And I totally said, GRG, we come back and we beat Brighton. This is our second time seeing Brighton this year. We beat them in the FA Cup. We beat them again in the league. But for me, this was a very, very fraudulent win. You're right.
Absolutely.
It's a very, very fraudulent win. And going into a shaky United, I would have hoped that we would have had a little bit more confidence. And so, that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup to me. It's going to be very, very telling on who our team is, because like I said all year, Pochettino, for the top 4, top 6 teams, he's gotten us up for the match. Liverpool, Arsenal, both draws. City, we were able to play them very, very well. Draw. We look at that Newcastle game, a blip. We look at the match against Tottenham, we win 4-1. So this is the last team I'm looking at. We had Aston Villa's up there too. Let me put some respect on Villa.
They beat us 1-0. Yep.
But this is the team I'm looking at. I'm like, this is the last team of those top elite teams that we're looking forward, hopefully looking to surpass on the table. We got to get 3 points. This has to be 3 points. Yeah. So I have some optimism just because of the way he's gotten us up for all these big matches. But I would have hoped that, the match beforehand, we would have had a little bit more steam going into it.
I agree. I mean,
that's Poch.
The biggest thing for me right now is just the discipline part. Like, we get too many yellows. Like, we're getting too many cards. I don't like that at all. And I saw that with Arteta's earlier team. Arsenal picking up a lot of yellows, reds.
A lot of reds.
Like, I can see that. But it's just like, dog, like, I don't know if I'm just so over it. Like, I have to have patience. I understand that. Like, I need the patience. But I'm watching teams that I know are ahead of us. And it's just like, Arsenal just fight. They just fight for the win. Why can't we just fight?
It's just first world problems.
When you watch that, and then you watch your team, and you're just like, bro, these guys just fight. They just got to win out of just pure will. Like, we're going to score, and they did.
Yeah, I feel like
you watch us, and it's just like, we're up 2-0. Oh, guys are walking now. It's just like, we can't even string 5 passes together.
Yeah, but I feel like for you guys, it's the old regime still there, and it's the new regime about to, new regime coming in. You still have a lot of your old, like, yes, you sold some guys, but you still have some of those old guys in there. And
it's really only Thiago Silva and Reece James and Gallagher though. And Gallagher just started getting first team minutes like last year.
But then that's what I'm saying. It's also a new regime too, and you're gonna have to find that player to, in a sense, be more of a leader. I feel like Reece James is a leader, but as of recent, like I feel like you need consistency. I feel like you don't have a player on your team right now who's one, a leader, and two, is a consistent leader. Like, and I'd say you would have that in Enzo, but I don't know how vocal he is. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Thiago Silva, he doesn't speak the language, so it's like,
and that's language barrier is a thing too. You know, so it's like you need to find somebody who is going to be that vocal leader for you, and that's I agree. And that's why, I mean, it's kind of crazy when I look at it, but it's not crazy when I see Conor Gallagher with the armband. It's like he's vocal, he's a leader, he speaks the language, like, and they're gonna listen to him. He's one of the more seasoned guys on your team. He's one of the vets on your team at this point. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's crazy for me to look at that because I'm like, I don't think he should be the skip, but at the same time, for what you guys need on the pitch, I mean, it kind of makes sense. So. Like you said, Mike, I think you're gonna come on. Like I said this at the beginning of the year. You guys are at where I was at 2 years ago. I feel like with better players, I think, of course, with better players, but it's you're gonna go through growing pains, and you're gonna have to get some more guys out of there for sure, and it's gonna take time for him to realize kind of who his 11 is, because I mean he didn't even pick this team. This is a team he just walked into and is like, listen, make it work. You know what I mean? So
I have one question.
It's gonna be interesting.
I have one question though. I was just like, how many of if you have to just guess, I don't know if you have the actual number, but how much of the team is it their first year there? They're in their freshman year.
You have a whole like 60%.
Yeah, you have a whole
at least 60%.
And yeah,
you have like 15 players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you got
and then when you look at players like Nkunku and Lavia, sorry to cut you off, but when you look like players at Nkunku and Lavia who haven't even touched the pitch yet, you know, they're just now getting almost ready to be on the bench. You know, they're like, I didn't think we'd get Nkunku or Lavia back, you know, this early, but they're already talking about possibly being on the bench for United, possibly maybe the next week. So we got players, again, like Gabriel said, we have players that haven't even touched the pitch yet. And so I feel like Poch is still looking for his true 11.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the first year for way too many of the squad. There's been way too many disturbances to rotation. It's just like literally every week I can't even imagine having to pick a starting 11 every week for this, because it's just like, what do you even prioritize? Do you prioritize the roles? Do you prioritize the egos? I mean, no one should have an ego, but there's still some people there that are there for it. I mean, it made sense that then he made the most senior people like the leadership and everything, but it's just gonna be growing pains for a little bit. Yeah. This really reminds me of Arteta when he did when he first got to Arsenal, and that first year people were just like, I'm like, it's a bunch of new people. What do you expect? It's just gonna take a minute, and then now we're here. So who knows?
But at the same time, I still feel that my fault. I may cut you off, but I still feel their pain though, because it's like, bro, we have the players. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
like, we have the players. Like, there's no reason that y'all should be doing like. And that's the thing. That's the one thing too. Our team was relatively young when you know we started kind of doing our thing and all of that. Y'all have seasoned players, like proven players. So I get their pain, because it's like, it's not like you haven't been here before. Like, act like you've been here before, because you have. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why you guys are acting brand new to this. And I understand it's a new team, new environment, but the matches haven't changed. Like, you know what I mean? Like the EPL really hasn't changed. Like you've played in this environment before. So I get their frustration, because it's like, you have the players, they're seasoned players, and I don't know. I can get their frustration, especially when seasoned players are like Reece James getting that red card the other day. Like that would
for nothing.
That would be that would just grind.
And then when you look at Conor Gallagher's red card, it's the exact same thing. You're sitting on a yellow, and then you do a bonehead foul for no reason. For no reason. So it's just like, bro, two of our captains in back-to-back weeks, and it's just like, all right, so we have a leadership problem, and then the so-called leaders are over here not even on the field. You know, luckily we escaped with the 3 points. Like, luckily we escaped with the 3 points. But we play a team like City, we play a team like Arsenal, we get peppered. Down a man, and you expect us to go out with a result? You know, it's and that's why I'm looking at this Manchester United game like, yo, we're losing one of our leaders. Let's hope we can do what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? You know, not too much to talk about Chelsea, but talking about a team that's doing what they're supposed to do, Arsenal. Man, out here just getting results, you know? And just like Mike said, it's frustrating when you see a team like Arsenal where we've played them so well this season, so we can see that we're on par, but we're not on par, you know. And Arsenal, they have that bite, they got that fight, and shout out to them because seriously, if it wasn't for City beating them in the way that they did last year, who would know? You know, who knows if they would be fighting like this right now? They understand what it takes to get to the finish line. Even if they didn't cross it first, they understand what it takes to get to the finish line. You know, they finished that 26.2 miles. They finished the marathon. Even though it wasn't first place, they were right there, right behind the leaders. And for the most part, they were in front of the leaders all of last year. And so when they come down to a team like Luton and they're down and they got to get those 3 points, they end up getting those 3 points. You know, you look at this, you know, both of their matches these past couple of days, they did what they had to do to get 3 points. You know, Arsenal's doing what they got to do, man. You just got to say hats off to them. Gabriel, how's you know, how's the spirit in Arsenal land over there? You muted. You muted.
I feel like they can rise. Feel like they can rise. Come on now. I feel good. I'm disappointed. More so player personnel wise than a couple players, but honestly, I mean, if I don't know if you guys watched the match, but from minute one, Luton was up for it. Like the crowd was rocking. This whole stadium was crazy. And I'm glad we were up for it too. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Luton because Luton played a great match. Like, they should have came out there with points. If I'm being completely honest, they should have came with points. And part of that is our fault, but I'm not trying to take anything away from them. Like, Luton played a great match. They executed what they wanted to execute. Defensively, they played well. They played to their strengths, and they almost came out there with points. I'm just happy that at the end of the day, we were able to match it. We were able to fight back, you know, get goals that in crucial times and strike back pretty quickly and not let the crowd really influence the match as much as we wanted them to. You know, we were able to strike first. They came right back. We got another goal. They came right back. They ended up going up 3-2, and we ended up getting 2 goals. But the third goal that we ended up tying, that Kai Havertz scored, was like 3 minutes after they scored in the 60th minute. So it was one of those, like, you guys are gonna shoot, we're gonna shoot back. You're gonna make your shot, I'm gonna make a shot back. Like, it was just back and forth. Yeah, it was just back and forth all match. And it was a great match. So honestly, I mean, I look at the match and I don't see too much that we did wrong. If I'm being completely honest, like, I really don't see too much that we did wrong. The first goal, you know, Gabriel Jesus loses your man. The guy scores a great header. Great. The 2 goals after that, I'm sorry, but David Raya, those are 100% your fault. Like, I'm not even. I don't want to make David Raya a talking point every week, but let's be real. Let's be 100% real. The second goal, I'm sorry, you're flat-footed. You need to come out much quicker than that. If you're going to come out, please get a hand on the ball. Please catch the ball. Something. You just get bodied and let this man score a goal. The third goal, I mean, yes, I can understand Ben White gets beat a little bit. You know, it happens, but I'm talking about Ben White in that instance. Like, Ben White gets beat for a second. Okay, it's fair enough. But Ross Barkley on his left foot and it goes under you. Unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's just unacceptable. It's like those 2 goals. If we're playing a Chelsea, if we're playing a Liverpool, if we're playing it's unacceptable. Like, we might not get that 4th goal. We might not get that opportunity because we won't dominate the rest of the match. We're lucky we're playing against Luton where we have the quality to go dominate a match and be on the front foot for the rest of the match. But those 2 goals are truly unacceptable to me. And I wish, I'm so sad I had training and I couldn't, like, actually put these stats together. I wish I could put up the stats. Like, looking at Ramsdale's stats through his first 10 Premier League matches and looking at Raya's, sorry, there's not much of a difference. It's really not. And matter of fact, Raya has 2 errors leading to go through Ramsdale 1 stat-wise from last year. Through 38 matches, Raya already has 2 of those in 1 match. And luckily, Declan Rice bailed us out. He bailed us out.
Facts.
Honestly, he bailed us out because I texted this in the group chat right before Declan Rice scored. I was like, I'm so disappointed because we can't afford to lose points here. Like, we can't afford to drop points. Not in this moment. Not when this race is truly on. Liverpool's firing. City's playing well. We can't afford to drop points against a team that's 16th right now. It's just unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
I said it last week. You can't afford to drop points against anyone that's not the top 4.
And not this year, especially. You have City sitting on 30 points. You have Liverpool sitting on 31 points. Like, you can't. This is a true race in every form and fashion. You have Villa, who's 29 points. Like, they're not far off. They're 2 matches away. You know what I mean? Like, you can't afford to drop points to teams under the bottom 6. Like, you really just can't. It's in this crucial time, you can't. And winter is or when championships are most of the time won and lost 100%. These tough months. So, it was tough to see those 2 goals go in, but like you guys said, I think our resilience is on a different level this year. I think last year taught us a lot, especially for a very, very young team. And last year we didn't always get results like this. We did get some close results and some last-minute winners, but this year has been. I think this is maybe our 6th goal in extra time, 5th goal in extra time. And if I'm being completely honest, Declan Rice has been the catalyst of that almost every time. I'm looking at it now, and I think this is maybe our 5th goal in extra time. But when I look at big matches, and maybe people don't consider this a big match, but this isn't considered a big match, but this is a big result.
Absolutely, I agree.
When I look at some of the big results in times that we've needed points and we've gotten them, Declan Rice has been literally at the center of that. I go back to, in a sense, like Declan Rice has been our Rodri. Like how Rodri can just come out of nowhere and score a goal for City to tie it, to win it. Like that was what Declan Rice has done for us this season. I go back to the first United match where he got his first goal. That was the game winner for us. I know we won 3-1, but his goal is what got us the game-winning goal. When I go back to Chelsea, his goal is what tied up the match. And then when I go to Luton here, his goal is what won us the game in the last second. And if you look back at that, those are matches that, honestly, we couldn't afford to lose. We need to beat United, 100%. We needed to take points off of a top 4 team at that point. Chelsea, honestly, we stole a point. We stole a point. He helped us grab a point when we honestly should have, when they should have taken all 3. And here at Luton again, honestly, we should have beat them, but 2 keeper mistakes, unfortunately. Boom, it's 3-3, and here he gets his 3 points again. So I can't speak highly enough about how much of a major signing he has been for us. Like, not only goal wise, but just the mentality of the team, the way we play. Our midfield is completely revamped just because of that one player.
We were actually talking about it a little bit before we started. We were talking about how, he could have gone anywhere. We all knew, going to Arsenal, he was going to make a huge difference for you.
Yeah, he could have been great.
Yeah,
huge difference maker.
He has lived up to the hype in every single way. I mean, every performance is a 7.5 or higher from him. Every week in, week out.
So here's the thing. I'm not okay. Just keep this in mind. It's literally the same thing that Grealish does. You're not getting a goal, you're not getting an assist, but he's giving you a 7 to an 8 every game.
No,
I'm just saying, like,
I'm not doing
just
that.
saying
Not
that every
hearing it.
Look at these
player.
fans.
I'm just saying every team needs a player that can just
solo.
Stop the
We
cap.
can go solo. We
Literally.
can go from please, because we can go from Declan Rice from West Ham 7.5 to 8 every single week. We can go Grealish when he was at Villa, pretty much 7.5 above
have y'all seen,
every week.
compare them.
But no. But let me go now. We can go Grealish starting from Man City. There was not 7.5s every week.
First year, yep.
Let's even this year, it hasn't been.
No,
his spot got taken. So
okay, hold on. But the treble.
Let's be real. Solo. Let's be real.
The treble year.
You're not even. And you're saying,
but that's what I'm saying. The treble year, the second year after he came back, I'm saying if you look at the match ratings, he was, because I was saying the same thing too, but I was like, he is consistently given a 7 to an 8. I've never seen anything lower than that. Never. And
he did ball out last season,
bro. That's what I'm like.
He wasn't scoring goals, but
he played.
I'm not
better.
saying it's like what the same impact that Declan Rice is having at Arsenal. I'm just saying that there's some players that will their main trait is consistency. That's what they can give you, is a consistent 7, 8, and that's all you need. But here's a question. So I for Arsenal though, like, because to your point, like, if you know when y'all were going into that run of matches where it was City, Chelsea, Newcastle, and it was just like people were like, "Oh, that's going to be the time to figure it out. Like, what's going to end up looking like?" And y'all, drop points. You guys got points off us at City. You got points off of Chelsea, and then in that you had that 5-0 on Sheffield too. So that was also really good. But what occurred or what changed that now, like for example, when I saw that Luton Town thing, I wasn't even watching the game. I just went, I looked at it, I was like, what's going on? Like, why is Luton Town up? And then the Wolves one, I just remember thinking to myself, like, nah, they should be beating Wolves multiple times. And I was like, how's that happening? The Brentford one, 89-minute Kai Havertz goal. I was like, that's what occurred?
That was the one for me. I was like, y'all got saved by
bruh. So it's like
Bratwurst boy.
What went from since that Newcastle, like I think when you drop points against Newcastle, there's been this like slight downshift. Not saying it's not still, obviously it's still top of the league, but there's been this interesting, like in this run of games, that's the easy games. I feel like there's been more of a struggle there. Like, what do you feel like is what's messing that up?
Europe.
I would say Europe. I would say injuries as well. Because I mean, we haven't had our full team. I know everyone's dealing with injuries, but our injuries are crucial. Like, I'm sorry, but Partey is a crucial loss for us. We didn't have Zinni for a bit. We didn't have Jesus for a bit, and these are guys that are like literally crucial to our 11 that we need. So I think a little bit of personnel, but also, what can I attest to it? I think during this run, this is when Odegaard was also playing one of his worst, like some of his worst football.
That's true.
And we need our captain. I'm sorry, like we need Odegaard. He's the catalyst of a lot of our offensive-minded attacks. And just a lot. He's our 10. He's our creative guy. And we need him. And I feel like through those matches, he wasn't playing well. Like he was playing pretty poor. I'm not gonna lie, like very poorly during that run. So I feel like that has a little bit to do with it. But I just feel like also we're still in a sense figuring it out. With just inserting new guys, like Kai Havertz is a big one. I know Trossard's been getting a lot more minutes. Jesus gets his annual one, but him coming in the lineup, and I know Declan Rice has been he's been our probably our most consistent player along with Saka 100%. But also I feel like they're still trying to figure out if he's going to be our 6 or our 8, and he's doing both right now. He's just doing both. But I feel like there's still something to learn with that and how to best utilize him, even though he's playing so well. So I feel like that has a little bit to do with it. But at the end of the day, like, these wins, when I look at them, like they're tough. Like we've had some tough wins, but they're not fraudulent. Like they're not wins that I look at and I'm just like, we played so bad. Like the times I'm looking at that we played poorly are like Chelsea and we still got points. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, when we play poorly, what's our result? Like Newcastle, when we got an L, we didn't play bad. We didn't play poorly. They got one opportunity, they finished it, and that was that. And it was like, all right, I have to live with this.
Refs.
also the refs. We're not going to get into that, but also the refs. You know what I mean? Like, we outside of that, we lost to West Ham in the Carabao Cup, and like we lost to Lens in Champions League. And Lens was one of those, like, we just got caught slipping. We went to France, their stadium was rocking, they ended up getting a dub, and we got that back in blood. So, you know, I'm not even, when I look at our results, it's like, okay, we beat Burnley comfortably. Brentford's a tough place to go into and play. We got to win there. It wasn't pretty, but we got to win there. Lens, we got it back in blood. Wolves, we pretty much dominated the whole match. They scored later on in the game. Okay. Luton, like, I look at today's match, I'm like, we did not play poorly. We didn't. Literally, 2 of their goals came from keeper mistakes. In my eyes, at least. 2 of their goals came from keeper mistakes. And on top of that, we were still able to come out with the dub. So even when we're not playing our best, or even when we make, you know, personal mistakes or things like that, we're still able to come out with a dub. And that's really what I'm looking at. I think we do have like a tougher run of games coming up. And I think that this is when I'm really looking at, like, okay, we see Villa next on Saturday at home. You know, we have to go to PSV. I know we already won in Champions League. We're through in our group, but, you know, we have Brighton at home, which is going to be a tougher match. We have Liverpool away right before Christmas. So, you know, I'm looking at these tougher matches, and it's gonna be interesting to see what we look like. But right now, I'm not really looking too much at our passes of play because it hasn't been poor. It's been pretty good, and even through like pivotal players that we've needed to play well, like Odegaard specifically, he's just now getting back on his horse. Like, he's just now getting back to it. And
how many assists does he have this year? I'm having trouble figuring that out.
He not a lot, if I'm being honest.
Saka's been the one assisting.
Saka's been. I think Odegaard has. And that's the thing. Odegaard hasn't been playing well. He has 4 goals and 2 assists. So it's not like he's playing. And that's to me. He hasn't been playing his best this year. Like, he had a 5-game stretch where it was poor to me, like very, very poor. And I was like, bro, he got dropped. And I know he was dealing with a little injury, but he also got dropped during that time too. So, you know, I feel like he's just now getting back on his horse. I feel like Saka's kind of been there, but now we have Kai Havertz going. Like, this is pivotal for us. This is pivotal for us. I'm not gonna lie, because if we get Kai Havertz going, that's another possibly 8 goals, 10 goals that we're gonna need. Like, Kai Havertz scoring today was a needed goal. And Kai Havertz played well today. I want to shout him out for sure. The guy played very well today. He's been in a good run of form, and that's all I've been asking for. Just get his confidence up. Once his confidence is there, he'll play well. I have confidence in his abilities. Like, he's not where he's been for no reason. You know what I mean? He didn't get brought to the Prem for no reason. He has an ability, but it's just been a confidence thing for me. So I feel like once we get our players going, and Trossard is another one. Like, Trossard's been on it recently. Once these players get their confidence and we're rolling, like, I really don't think there's anyone that can stop us. I truly believe that, especially with the players that we've brought in, and we're going to bring in even more players. Once we're fully healthy and we have all of our players from 1 to honestly 14, 15, I feel confident with any of them starting. You know what I mean? So yes, they were tough wins, but it wasn't because of necessarily our play. To answer your question, I feel like it was more personal mistakes and tough environments, and just tough environments. And we're finding a way to get wins out of that. So I'm looking at it like, great, we're in these tough environments and in these tough spaces, we're still finding ways to get results. And that's all I asked for, because last year we wouldn't have got these results. We just wouldn't have. And I hope, you know, it goes throughout the entire season, the rest of the season, because, you know, I feel like last season is where we kind of fell off, but just what I'm seeing now is a different feel to it. Like, compared to last year, I feel like this is a completely different feel of, I don't want to say like last year was a fluke, because last year when we started, it wasn't, because last year before the season even started, I was like, we're serious. I just want to let everyone know we're serious. And y'all kind of laughed at me, but I was like, no, we just beat Sevilla, we beat Chelsea. Like, we're on a roll right now with our starting 11. We're serious. Like, I'm not even. I was on that, but I feel like now it's it's more seasoned. It's more composed. I would say that it's a lot more composed, and I don't feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. I don't feel like
the maturity.
We've matured through that, through what we went through last year, and I feel like that's showing a lot this year through all of our.
I want to ask you a question. Who do you think is your most important player right now? Is it Saliba or Declan Rice?
Jeez. Honestly, that's a great question. I still think it's Saliba because I don't think anyone can come in and slot it in for Saliba. We don't have a Saliba replacement. Like, I don't think we necessarily have a Declan Rice replacement, but we can semi cope without Declan. Like, I've seen us play without Declan Rice and us be okay. You know what I mean? But I've seen us not play with Saliba and us be dismantled and completely distraught without him in our center back role. And yes, we had Rob Holding playing there, and I don't think he would be playing there, if he were to go down injured, God forbid, this year. But I still want to say it's Saliba. Like, I don't know what we look like without Saliba. Like, I know what we look like without Saliba, and it looks bad. My last memory, it looks bad. Like, it looks very, like, we look completely off it, and just unsecure, and so I still think I would still say Saliba.
I agree with you. I agree.
This Declan Rice thing is only 10. We're only 10 matches in the Prem, or not 10 matches. I'm sorry, like 15 matches in the Prem.
Yeah.
So but I've seen what we look like without Saliba. I don't want to see that again. I'm sorry. I don't. I do not. Not one bit. So right now, I still say Saliba.
I agree. To be honest, I don't think you would have had a wrong answer, but the way you explained it, I think I agree with you. It has to be Saliba.
Yeah, because even like if we put like Kivior in there, like, it's just, it doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could put a Tomiyasu there, but still, like, Saliba is top class. I'm sorry, he's one of the best in the world.
He's top 5 in the Prem. I've said it in the group chat.
He's one of the best.
I just have a trouble putting him in top 3, but he's definitely top 5 for me.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the world for me. Just personally, I just want to. You see I'm just being honest.
We always go to the world.
They gotta
Ramsdale top 5 in the world.
That's his crazy.
Listen, I think because when you take him out of a squad, you see the difference. And just his defense, like, you've seen what he's done. Not only even before he came to Arsenal, League On defensive player of the season. Like, this is 3 years of just 2.5 years of him now just balling out. You know what I'm like? Absolutely balling out. So I think he's one of the best in the world. I'm not gonna put like numbers on it, but I think he's one of the best in the world. And
y'all would have won the league last year if he was healthy more.
Personally, I think the same thing too. I see Solo. I'm glad someone else agrees with me.
I could see that
because
he only saying that because they won the league, bro.
Oh yeah, of course. But still, those some of those goals I was letting, I was like, damn, they got nobody in the back.
Come on, bro.
Anything,
you're right.
We let Son just run rampant on Rob Holding like we haven't seen it years previous, and we still just. When we had other options. But listen, I digress. It's a new year. it's a new feeling. It's a new team. So, it is what it is. But I'm not getting to predictions. I'll just guess I'll go first. So yeah, we got Villa on the weekend.
Where's the game at?
It's at Villa, and I honestly don't know how to feel about it because they haven't lost at home. Yeah, they haven't lost at home yet this year.
They're serious.
Yeah, they're top 4. Like, I don't. Yeah, I think we're gonna win, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if we draw. If I'm being, and they have Unai Emery. He knows us. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. He knows us, and he knows how to beat us. He's proven that time and time again. Out of the Prem and in the Prem. So I don't. I really have mixed emotions about this game. I'm not gonna lie. I need City. I need y'all to wear him out tomorrow. That's what I need personally. Like, I need y'all to wear him out tomorrow so they can a little fatigued on Saturday. But
that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, how did they have us back to back? I feel bad for Villa.
like I'm just happy we have them on the back end. Honestly, pause.
They might catch y'all slipping, City. Watch out.
That's what I think personally. I think they're gonna catch y'all slipping.
The thing is,
if we
beat them, then they have to beat y'all. That's
crazy. That's crazy. That's
crazy. They're coming.
That's another way to look at it.
The wall, ready to swing for everything.
Crazy.
Yeah, it'll be a GRG at that point. At home too.
That's just crazy. But yeah, no, I think we'll sneak out there. Like honestly, I think it'll be a high scoring match, like 3-2. Like the Prem there have been goals. Been goals. Yeah. I think it'll be like another 3-2. Yeah, I think if we draw like a 2-2, but I think it'll be an exciting match. This is a good week for the Prem. Like matchup wise, I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say 2. I say 3-2 Arsenal.
3-2. All right. 3-2. Chelsea United tomorrow. I'm thinking 2-1. What are you thinking, Cornelius?
I would agree. I like that 2-1 scoreline. I feel like they'll score. They're at home as well, so they'll get a goal. But I just got to put faith in Poch, man. He's got us up for all the big games, and he hasn't really let us down. You know, I would say that even in the Newcastle match, Reece James kind of let us down. After that, the game was kind of dead. So as long as we can stay 11 men on the field, I feel like we come home with 3 points. And then we see Everton over the weekend. That'll be another away game at Goodison.
It's a tricky game.
It is a tricky game.
That's a derby, no?
No. Everton's Merseyside. Everton's Merseyside. So Everton sees Newcastle midweek. So hopefully Newcastle's been on a tear. Hopefully they can wear them down just like
Everton get relegated. Y'all just want them out the league.
We need to get these points. We need to get these 3 points first. But yeah, so I think we leave this week with 6 points. Win at United, win at Goodison.
I agree.
Okay.
I would say I guess with Aston Villa, sucks to have them on the front end. That's for sure. That they're gonna. I think it makes sense for them to prioritize that. Try to get the win early. But we're on 3 draws and we can't make it 4. So we really need to win. So I'm hoping that whatever pep talk can be put together. And I heard there's news now
pep talk.
Yeah, there we go.
No pun intended.
But whatever he could figure out, and then having John Stones come back is a huge dub. Having Calvin Phillips potentially start, and he's hungry for minutes. We just really need people to show up. I need to see why we got Matthew Nunez. Like we gotta, and low key, if we don't have a way to figure out the defense, then we need to see about having a different goalie back there. And our backup's he's not. Now I'm not saying for every game, but just games that we know people are going to come at us with goals, like Aston Villa. If we don't got Stones, better be ready to start ready to deal with what Unai's crazy high flying team. It's gonna be it's gonna be intense. But I think we walk away with it. I think it's gonna be 4-3. Because it's just been so much consistent high. Actually, I want to revise it. I'll do it 3-2. This is actually helping me figure out my bets for the week. So thanks. 3-2.
Oh, speaking of, did anybody hit their lock of the week last week? I did.
I did not. I'm sorry.
I did. I got mine on the. I waited until we were. I'm not even joking. When sitting in the Champions League, I was like, we're gonna come back at the 2-0. I was like, this is a comeback game, and I just immediately put in a 10. 55. I was happy about that.
Okay.
Very lucky there.
Any shout outs this week? I'll start by saying shout out Enzo, man, getting his first goal for Chelsea and made it a brace. He said, here's 2 more for y'all. Shout out Enzo, man. Hopefully he can keep it going this week.
Shout out Kai Havertz and shout out Declan Rice.
That's crazy, man.
Shout out them 2 boys.
Shout out Kudus, man. Ghana star boy. killing it in the Prem. I love watching him, man. I love watching him.
Yeah, he's been hooping.
I would say shout out. No, I don't say that. I was gonna say shout out. I ain't about to say shout out Spurs. I can't do it. I can't. But I was like, that's a really great win. Well, seems like a win. But I would say
no, just shout out Vicario, man. Just shout out Vicario. Shout out. I rock with Vicario. I ain't gonna lie. I rock with bro. I like bro.
You know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Pep because those catching up on the post match interviews. This man's been cooking. He's been talking all types of nonsense.
And that's how I know you taking that.
I feel like he's been trolling this season,
bro. What did he say about after the bad referee decision? He said, "What's it called? I'm not making no comment like Mikhail." I was just like, "Dang, you childish." But you should make a comment though,
bro. I mean, he got the treble coming off his 4th season, winning. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. I mean, he's just doing what he wants at this point. Can't be mad at him.
Nah, for sure.
Oh, also, big thing. We don't have Mikel on Saturday.
Why?
3 yellow cards. Got suspended.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we have no
He ran down to celebrate with the team after Declan Rice scored and they gave him a yellow, so he's out.
Oh, they did.
What? Are you kidding me?
So y'all
is it 3 or is it 4? It's 3.
It's 3.
3 consecutive suspension.
Oh yeah, because okay.
Does Aston Villa got a chance of doing the double? Because we with us without Rodri, y'all without Mikel. This
is crazy. I just now remember that we got AirPod Albert, man. I guess I got my AirPod. Then you feel me? we gonna be rocking this weekend. So
yeah, all right.
Well.
So anybody got predictions for United's last game? They play Bournemouth on Saturday.
1-0 United.
You said what?
1-0 United win, yeah.
We'll see how they feeling after Chelsea's peppers them.
Yeah, they be getting this 1-0 wins to calm everything down. I think this is one of them.
100%.
I feel that.
All right.
But thank you everybody out there. I know we ran a little bit later, but we have these midweek games now. It's December. FA Cup also coming up here in a few weeks. So I feel like every 3 to 4 days we'll have a different match to talk about. But appreciate you, Solo, for coming back on. We had to talk a little bit of trash about cities. Y'all looking kind of like a lick.
Very beatable.
You looking kind of like a lick. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Tight. You never know. You never know.
We getting a little shaky, I get it.
That's December. As Salam always says, winter is coming. And good luck to you in your future endeavors.